Hi, my name's Dave Hadfield, and I'm Chief Pilot of the Mike Potter Aircraft Collection in association with Vintage Wings of Canada in this glorious hangar in Gatineau, Quebec.
How long have you been flying, Dave?
Over 40 years. I'd have to do the arithmetic. I got my license with the Air Cadets starting when I was 17, and I'm 63 now.
How many hours you got?
About 28,000. About 23,000 with the airline. I'm a retired Air Canada pilot. Okay, startup check's complete, pre-start check. Pre-oiling. Electric boost pump switch is going on. Throttle for start, cracked bit, 1/2 inch. Properly recycled. Either I flooded it or I got nothing. This is a spectacular collection. I don't think 25 years ago anyone ever expected anything like this to develop in Canada. And the first time I came through those big glass doors and saw all these gorgeous gleaming airplanes with their propellers tips and wing tips, shining in the light, I was just gobsmacked. I couldn't believe it. And I said, I need to volunteer. I need to be a part of this. Year by year, season by season, whatever jobs had to be done, whether it's taking tickets at an air show or sweeping the hangar floor or wiping bugs off and cleaning oil, always happy to do it. No money, of course. It's just something that I felt I wanted to be a part of. The Spitfire is the iconic airplane. It's the one everyone identifies with. If you talk about the Battle of Britain, people say, oh yeah, Spitfire, right? And when you fly it, you understand why. It's an extremely capable, powerful airplane, but it's also superb to handle. And it tries its best to look after you as a pilot, both at every edge of the envelope, whether you're flying slow and turning tight or going fast and doing aerobatics. It's just a sweet, wonderful, yet powerful and capable airplane. And as soon as you land, you realize, oh God, that's what an airplane's supposed to be like. This Mark 9 started life in England at the end of World War II. And it was assigned to an RAF squadron, but didn't actually see operations because the war ended. And then after a couple of years, it was sold to the South African Air Force. And it actually ferried its way, it flew its own, on its own wings all the way down to South Africa with a number of other Spitfires. And then in about 1951, it was very badly damaged in a landing accident and declared surplus. It went to a scrap dealer who couldn't bear to wreck it. So it sat up on top of his scrap pile heap for many years until the early 80s. And by then there wasn't much left of it, just through the wear and tear of that kind of environment. And it was found and gathered by a fellow named Mark de Vries, an enthusiast in South Africa. And he began a restoration using the little bit that was left, after the scrapyard experience. He began the restoration, but he had some medical problems. He sold it to the Comox Air Force Museum in Vancouver Island. And they began the project to restore the Y2K Spitfire. And, that whole project started even before the year 2000, Y2K. And they put together a really good and devoted group of people, and they did a lot of work, but it's an expensive proposition, right? To restore a Spitfire, it's not tens of thousands, it's millions. And it was difficult for them to raise the funds. And at one point, perhaps they were going to have to sell it or restore it to a non-flight status. And that's when the owner of this collection, Mike Potter of Ottawa, said, well, I'll take it over and I'll do the major restoration items like the engine, all the big components. And I'll own it and I'll fly it. But to show you that we are keeping the Spitfire alive in Canada, connect up with that history, I'll fly it back here and show you we have completed the project. There are lots of genuine Spitfire components in this airframe. So that becomes a provenance story, right? And it's kind of like your great-grandfather's axe. It's been in the family for 150 years, and it's had 3 changes of heads and 5 changes of handles, but everybody knows it's still your great-grandfather's axe. It's a bit like that. So there's a lot of blood and sweat and tears that went into this particular restoration. But when we took it to the biggest air show in the world, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, in 2018, we got Reserve Grand Champion Warbird for it. And that's a big trophy. And they don't give that away very easily, right? So it was a major victory. We got the Phoenix Award, the Judges Appreciation Award. So our work here in this hangar was totally accredited by that event. If you can bring a kid, or class of children out to an airport, and they see the airplane, they have a chance to touch it, and maybe they're in the hangar when you start it up, taxi it, fly it, bring it back. You have made a connection there that is so much better than history books, and it's something that they'll remember forever.